G'day everybody, welcome to Coffee with a Coach. Put out my first sort of like YouTube or podcast introduction the other night, so that was like a relief. It was one of the things I wanted to do. This one here is about moving forward, what's happening now, what's happening next, and what happened to get me to the stage of doing what I'm doing now. Um, when I was in hospital, obviously I used to do things physically to de-stress, but I had to find other ways to do that, which was quite hard. You can only watch so many movies in hospital, so I decided to bring back to life Coffee with a Coach. How I was going to do it, what are the other things that could possibly help me through this. I had my blog going. Like I said before, I'm up to page 200 and something now. Just writing down my feelings, how I felt, the moods I was in, what I needed to do in terms of the process to help me think through stuff that I was going through pre-surgery, because there's a lot of information that gets thrown at you a lot. So it's making sure that you can deal with that and understand what's happening. So I was glad I had my wife and my family around when that information was getting thrown at me, because when it was, I was a little bit emotional about it. Sometimes I could hear stuff and just go in one ear and out the other. So I'm glad I had people around me that I trusted that sort of helped me through that situation. So I started writing down everything, how I was feeling, what I was doing, trying to keep to a pre-surgery an exercise routine of just walking up and down the woods, maybe go down to the bottom floor and then walk up, not using stairs or anything, using the elevators because I was finding it hard to breathe. And then I started reading. So I come across a couple of old books that I had, and one of them was Wayne Bennett's "Don't Let the Music Die," which was it's a pretty good read. He's definitely a relationship guy, building a relationship, trying to understand the people. He believed in a little bit of stats, but not so much. It was all about the people and how he was talking to them and how he liked to put them in under extreme circumstances in pre-season so he could find out what type of character they were and things like that. So that was definitely interesting in reading and took me back to my coaching in pre-season in terms of high school teams, and even when I was with NBL teams and the pre-seasons that we used to do then, is putting players under duress to find out where their point was. So we could, obviously, in the heat of moments in sport, we needed to have people that we can rely on and count on. So that was interesting. I got a book from Wayne Smith as well, and only just started it, so I've got a fair bit to do, reading to do with that one. But in the campaign when he was with the New Zealand women's team, he sort of coined a quote whereas women need to feel good to win, where men need a win to feel good. And by dealing with women's basketball and then men's basketball, I could see that as clear as day, where the ladies are all about their relationships with each other and making sure everyone has an opportunity to participate and have fun in that environment, where competition is, in the men's side of things, is the thing that drives them the most. Competitions in practice, competitions in games, and competing against the best, and obviously winning being the outcome, and them feeling good about that. And then I sort of thinking about it all and going back to how coaches deal with certain stresses, where it be organisations or players or management or other coaches or opposition coaches, how do they deal with sort of their stresses about things, and me, one, writing down stuff, reading, and also listening to music. And that was a big thing post-surgery for me, because it was hard enough getting through that where I didn't need to be overexcited. I didn't need my heart to go 1,000 miles an hour, so I had to do something to calm my mind and calm my body. So I used to listen to music, and specifically the sound of the sea. So I had a 2 hour sort of listening to the sea sort of playlist, where I'd just put that on, and then whether it be during the day or just before I'm trying to calm my mind down to go to bed in the hospital, I used to listen to that. I still do a little bit of it now to help de-stress, because I'm slowly getting back into physical activity. So I just needed to find out, what other people were doing, and definitely in the coaching, where I'm stepping back into it now, and I'm doing a little bit more physical activity to help me de-stress or unwind. So this is sort of full circle, is coming back to coffee with a coach and sitting down with some coaches, and just having a korero about, how do they deal with certain situations within pre-season, in-season, post-season. At the moment, going through signing players, negotiating that, and that's definitely a stressful time. And in terms of, you find someone that would suit your system or your team or your group, and then negotiating with them sometimes, mostly times through an agent, and how does those negotiations go, and what sort of pressure it puts on a coach in an organisation, or mainly a coach, is making that sort of decision, where obviously the player has some physical attributes that probably fit their style of play and their defensive system, and their character, possibly if they know them a little bit more about how they would fit in New Zealand and play within New Zealand's style of play. So, what do coaches do, when they select a player, when they are quite keen on a player, then they ask them or ask the agent, and then they come back and say no. It's like, oh my goodness, what sort of pressure that put on them to find the next one, and things like that. So this is how it's evolved in terms of me going through what I've been, and then getting back into the coaching, which is I'm quite excited about, because that's definitely one of my passions, and I've met some unbelievable people through my journey thus far. So I just wanted to get out there and talk to other coaches and build some networks, and find out, are there some mentors out there that young coaches can talk to, because I was quite fortunate that I could talk to a few mentors, or people I like to call mentors, that if I'm in a certain situation, I can just sort of, give them a bell, or drop them an email, drop them a message, and then have a chat, really, and a catch up. And I've got some coaches around the country that, I message and catch up with on a semi-regular. Anytime I'm in town, I try and catch up with some people, just to keep close, because I know that coaching profession is, sometimes pretty harsh environment to be in, but it's also an enjoyable place to be as well. So until next time, have a Merry Christmas, and enjoy your time with your family and whatever you're doing. Kia ora.